close is he to a title shot in sharing the ring with Bud Crawford?
I don't know. But Vergil, he's right there. He's right there. He's been proven that he belongs with the top fighters in the division. And, who knows, a couple of fights or next fight or whatever the case may be, he might be sharing the ring with Terence Crawford. You never know.
Victory, he just beat Canelo, the face of boxing, so that makes Canelo, that makes Crawford the face of boxing at the moment. And he earned the right to fight whoever he want to fight.
In Terence, if you come to 154, is there a chance? Was that the conversation you had?
Basically, I just said, hey, are you going to defend it? And he said, no, that's my last fight at the Canelo. I'm like...
Terence Crawford reacts to Vergil Ortiz's call-out by acknowledging him as a talented fighter who's showing his potential. He speaks positively about Ortiz's progress and says the young contender has what it takes to compete at the highest level. When asked about a possible matchup, Crawford simply says that anything can happen in the future.
I'm ready to fight whenever. I'm here to fight anybody. I don't care if it's Crawford, Spence, Pack.
Vergil Ortiz calls out Terence Crawford, stating that his aim is to face the best fighters in boxing. He says challenges like Crawford push him to keep improving and proving himself among the top names. Confident in his strength and progress at 154, Ortiz makes it clear he wants big opponents next.
It could be Loops next, it could be Spence next, it could be Crawford next, if he's still willing to do it. Because that's a fight that I've been calling for a while. I think that's a great fight to make happen still. And we're just going to keep doing what I do best.
Vergil Ortiz talks with full confidence as he claims that even if Terence Crawford were still in his prime, he could beat him. Ortiz says he studies everything about Crawford and respects what he's accomplished. But he strongly believes in his own power, speed, and timing. For him, confidence comes from the work he's done since moving up in weight. Many view this as a bold claim because Crawford's success in multiple divisions has helped him earn one of the highest pound-for-pound spots. Still, Ortiz says Crawford isn't unbeatable and insists he can find openings others couldn't. His words spark debate among fans and analysts about whether the young contender can truly match the skill and experience of a proven champion like Crawford.
So we got Tim Tszyu, we got Crawford, Spence, or I guess you can say the winner of Spence or Fundora. Charlo's is a good one. Who else we got at 54?
You want to fight Terence Crawford right now?
I would love to fight him, man. I think he's like probably the #1 pound-for-pound fighter right now.
Do you think he's out of his peak?
No.
Or is he in his peak now?
I think he's in his peak.
And you're saying you could beat a peak prime Terence Crawford?
I'm saying I believe that I can.
I respect it 100%.
I believe that I can. No, I respect him as a fighter though. That's the thing. When I want to fight people, it doesn't mean that, oh, I don't like you. Like, let's get it on. It's more like I respect your skills and I want to see if I can beat you.
After Vergil Ortiz beat Israel Madrimov, many fans compared his performance to Crawford's fight against the same opponent. Terence Crawford responded to those comparisons, saying that although Ortiz won, he didn't look dominant. Crawford pointed out that Madrimov didn't seem as sharp or in shape as he was when Crawford fought him. In Crawford's view, Madrimov wasn't at his best that night, and Ortiz's win didn't show much about how he would perform against a top fighter like Crawford. His reply was calm but direct, reminding fans that while Ortiz is skilled, Crawford's experience and fight IQ separate him from others.
If you watch him, he was winning the fight, and he gassed out.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He gassed out, and he said from, I don't know what type of sickness he had.
So condition-wise, he wasn't as prepared.
Yeah, that he had to pull out the first fight and come back. I don't know, but Vergil did good. He put a lot of pressure on him, and fought a good fight. But you could tell that he didn't leave unscarred. When you look at the faces of both fighters, you would have thought Vergil lost.
Oh, okay. He did hurt his hand. His knuckle was broken. I don't know if you've seen him like the last couple of Vergil.
Yeah.
Ortiz, yeah, he had a broke hand, but he said he didn't know anyway. He didn't feel it about the fight.
It was a good fight. I thought Madrimov was doing too much moving.
Right.
In the beginning rounds, which that was getting him the rounds in the
winning
bank,
rounds,
but
yeah.
at the same time, he was exerting too much energy.
How do you feel about when people say, because Eddie Hearn said it, a few people were saying it, that you moved up to 154 and you didn't have the success that you had in all these times. So they're thinking it's because of the weight, when I'm saying it's the style. Majimov wasn't trying to commit as much, and you hurt him, he never hurt you.
Right.
So how do you feel about everybody saying that?
Well, I laugh. I won the fight. They making it seem like I lost.
Well, Eddie was like, no, I think that night in August, he was like, no, I don't know about that. I think, no, Eddie was, I believe Eddie was saying that.
Eddie was complaining about the scorecards. Nobody said Majimov.
Eddie was saying that it was closer than that, and maybe Majimov could have won.
No,
Like, he was saying, I think he was. I think he was.
Terence Crawford's next major move is already confirmed. He will face Carlos Adams on March 28th in Omaha, marking his jump to the 160-pound division. Crawford has said he plans to stay at this weight for 1 or 2 fights to win another title and become a 3-division undisputed champion. Adams is known for his strength and stamina, making this a solid first matchup for Crawford at middleweight. The fight creates excitement, but also raises questions about whether Crawford will ever return to 154 to face fighters like Vergil Ortiz or Jaron Boutsenis. For now, Crawford is focused on adjusting to the new division and proving that his skills work even against bigger opponents. Many analysts believe that if he wins these next fights, he will add even more strength to his legacy as one of boxing's greatest.
Crawford can drop down to middleweight after defeating Canelo in September and becoming the undisputed super middleweight. Terence Crawford can now drop down to middleweight, 160, right? And become undisputed at 160 with 1 to 2 fights. 2 fights max, right? He'll be 39 years old in September. 2 fights, Terence Crawford can become undisputed, max at 160. He can fight Carlos Adames in March. And then he can fight the winner of Lara versus Janibek in the summertime, August, right? And this gives Terence Crawford the history he needs to 1000% cement himself as, in my opinion, it's all opinionated, but this just cements Terence Crawford as top 5 greatest boxers in history, in my opinion. It cements him as top 5 greatest boxers in history because this will make Terence Crawford a 6-division champion and 4-division undisputed champion. That's what that makes Terence Crawford. That's historic. That's absolutely historic. And if Terence Crawford can pull that off, becoming a 6-division champion and a 4-division undisputed champion, that's massive, right? In my opinion, those accomplishments in the fashion that Terence Crawford wins these fights, he's not just winning. When he beat Errol Spence for undisputed, he dominated and stopped Errol Spence in a manner not many people saw coming. When he fought Canelo Alvarez, he did exactly what I thought he was going to do, dominate.
Vergil Ortiz has long shown interest in fighting Terence Crawford, but rumors spread saying the WBO had offered him the fight twice and he turned it down. In a later interview, Ortiz denied those claims, saying he never received any official offer. He said that if the chance had truly been presented, he would have accepted it without thinking twice. He was frustrated that the false story spread so easily and explained that his team never rejected a fight with Crawford. Ortiz said he respects Crawford's achievements and sees that matchup as a career-defining opportunity, not something to avoid. His response helped clear confusion among fans who believed he avoided the fight. Ortiz said timing and proper arrangements matter, but his desire to face Crawford has always been there.
And obviously, You couldn't stay at that weight class. But then he moved up. Was there ever a point where the Terence Crawford fight was a reality, like a real offer, like real negotiations going back and forth, or was it never that close?
It was never that close, man. So, you know, I know a lot of people say that the WBO president said that we turned down the fight. I never got an offer. I wouldn't have said no. I would not have. I wanted that fight so bad. I mean, I'm not the type of person to say, I want to fight this guy and keep pushing it and then get the opportunity and say no. There are fighters like that. I'm not like that.
Yeah,
you know,
we believe that.
I would have said yes.
Believe that.
But
what about your trainer, Robert? Have you ever had a conversation with him about the Terence Crawford fight?
More with my dad.
Okay.
More with my dad. You know, there were some days where he'll be like, you beat him if you fight like this, or if you fight like this, you don't beat him. So,
really? Your father really said
he would tell me. No, he tells me the truth. He tells me the truth. If you fight him like this, you beat him. Other days, you're not gonna beat him like this.
You know, you might not remember, but when we had our show, I believe it was called Sweet Scientist at the time with The Zone, and we had you on, and you were one of our first guests, and I asked you about Crawford, and you was like, nah, not yet, I'm not ready for him. You know, that was humble. No one really speaks like that. Now, you was ready for him maybe about 6 months later, but still you were humble enough to say that. Do you remember that?
I don't.
Yeah,
no, I don't.
Hell no, you can't.
Yeah, you got hit with a few punches.
Jaron Ennis, another top name at super welterweight, also said he wants to fight Terence Crawford. But he admitted that after Crawford's win over Canelo Alvarez, the veteran became the face of boxing, meaning Crawford now chooses what he wants to do next. Ennis praised Crawford's achievements but made it clear he's ready whenever Crawford is. He said he doesn't chase fights out of desperation, but he knows facing Crawford would let him prove himself against one of the sport's best. Fans viewed his words as both respectful and challenging. After Ortiz's latest win, Ennis entered the ring and the two spoke in a friendly but competitive way, instantly creating hype for a possible matchup. Ennis currently holds the WBA super welterweight title, and before his fight with Erickson Lubin, he hinted at wanting to face a major name. Seeing Ortiz and Ennis share the ring after Ortiz's victory gave fans hope for one of the biggest matchups of 2026. The moment showed that both fighters understand their rising status and the importance of making fights the fans
that
want.
Can be made.
For sure.
And with all due respect to everyone else around the world, I think it has to be in America.
For sure.
Right?
Gotta be. It gotta be. I feel like you gotta do this one in the States because everybody want to see it. Everybody go. I think it's a pay-per-view fight, and I think everybody will pay to see it, or everybody will come out to come see it wherever it's at, whether it's in Vegas, Madison Square Garden, wherever it's at.
What's your obviously you'd love it in Philly, but I don't think it'll be Philly, right?
No, absolutely.
Okay,
It's not gonna be in Philly. Yeah.
So where is the ideal spot for it? What deserves to host this fight? Which venue in your opinion?
To me, either anywhere in Vegas, so like a T-Mobile Arena,
yeah,
or maybe go old school MGM.
Oh man, I love the MGM.
Or we can go Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
I think Madison Square Garden would be crazy as well. That'd be historic as well. So either one.
There aren't enough big fights at the big MSG.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the theater.
No, I'm
Theater's
talking about
cool.
the big one.
Yes,
I'm talking about the big one. That's why I say I want to.
Fights.
I always wanted to fight at MSG anyway. Yeah. So, I like how it looks in there. It's real. It's real
incredible.
nice. When they have fights and stuff in there. So, for me, it would be either the T-Mobile Arena or take it back and go old MGM, or we can do, Madison Square Garden.
Do you think he would say yes to MSG because that's kind of a home game for you, right? That's so close to Philly.
I mean, I feel like he has a deep fan base, and I feel like all his fans and stuff will come. If it was to be in New York, I feel like they all will come. He got a good fan base. I got a good fan base. I feel like it'll make for a great fight. And who don't want to come to New York?
Oh my God. There was a time where MSG was holding all these big fights, and now I feel like, every couple of years we get, when we got Taylor Serrano, prior to that, it was, Brooklyn's cool and all, but we got to go back to the Mecca. The Mecca is the best. I would absolutely love that. In your perfect world as well, he fights November 8th.
Yep.
How soon could we get this fight? You obviously didn't get hurt in your fight, I would imagine, right? 72 seconds?
Yeah.
Unless something happened?
I mean, it depends on how his fight go. If he's in a war, maybe we'll see. Maybe April, March, April. If not, if he make quick work of it, who knows? We could be back in there sooner. So it's all for real. It's all up to how him right now, because he the one that has a fight. Hopefully he doesn't get no cuts, no broken hands or anything, or anything hurt on him. So it's dependent on him at the moment.
The other two options, of course, Sebastian Fundora and I think Xander Zayas.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing is there is some interest from MSG to have you versus Xander Zayas at MSG. Are you hearing this as well?
I'm with whatever. That's what I'm I can't wait.
You want all these guys?
I'm really.
I like these options for you.
I'm really about to show y'all. Like I'm about to run through these guys. I'm about to run through these guys and show y'all one by one. Like this 154 really mine, and I'm gonna shut everybody up. I can't wait. I hear the little chatters and all the little.
What do you hear? What's bothering you? What are people saying?
It's just little.
They're
things.
questioning you.
Yeah, they questioning, and it's cool, and I love it. They not doing nothing but like adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah,
and it's gonna make it worse each and every time for whoever stepping in the ring with me.
Seeing what Terence did not that long ago, did that give you motivation? Because it feels like for the longest time, people were questioning him, doubting him. He wasn't getting the big opportunities, the big fights. Do you see yourself in his journey a little bit as well?
I mean, I
Tim Bradley, a former American world champion, shared his doubts about a possible Vergil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis fight. Bradley said Ennis might not want to face Ortiz right now because of the risk involved. He suggested that Ennis's team might choose to wait for a bigger payday or a better situation before taking that fight. Bradley's comments sparked debate across the boxing world, with some fans believing Ennis would accept the fight immediately, while others agreed it might be smarter to let it build first. His words added more interest to the growing rivalry between Ortiz and Ennis.
You got that Benz now, you know what I'm saying? Back then they didn't want you, now you hot, they all on you. Yeah, this is one of them situations right here. Well, it's like, oh, back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. Now you all up on me. Man, did you see Boots, how he jumped up in the ring? I didn't know if that was Boots or Rick Ross. I was like, damn, is that Rick Ross in there? Like, all the jewelry he had on and everything. I'm like, who the hell is this dude? Is this the grown-up version of Boots? Because I ain't never seen all them chains all over my man, blinging, blacka, bling, bling, and all up on his chest and everything. I ain't never seen that before. I'm like, this dude got a new persona. Is this the killer Booth? This is what we've been waiting on? Because I'm sitting there going, oh, this is...
Promoter Eddie Hearn spoke openly about the issues behind setting up a fight between Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis. He criticized some of the demands coming from both sides, saying negotiations have been tough because each camp believes their fighter deserves a bigger share. Hearn said Ennis's team often insists he is the better boxer, while Ortiz's camp wants fair credit for his record and fan support. He explained that even though this matchup could be huge for boxing, it stuck because of business disagreements and scheduling problems. Hearn even said that right now it might be easier to arrange a Crawford versus Ortiz fight than one between Ortiz and Ennis. His comments showed how complicated big boxing negotiations can be, even when both fighters want the fight.
There's nothing but respect from us, but we just know we win. And, it's not for us. Once you start hearing things like, we're the A side and we want 10 million and we want, what does Boots? It's like, what? Guys, Ortiz has never been a world champion. Great fighter. Boots has been world champion, he's been a unified champion, but neither of them are world champions now. They're just the top two fighters in the division. So if you truly believe that you're the best, make the fight. And it'll be really interesting to now see if they truly believe. Because the fight's there, the fight's done, the money's there, the pay-per-view's there. I mean, it's a massive fight, but you can find an excuse if you don't want to do it. So we'll see.
And obviously we saw the fighters face off, and we know you want the fight, the fighters clearly want the fight. And you mentioned the $10 million mark by Rick Merigian, I believe his name is, the manager of Vergil Ortiz. Do you see it as an obstacle? I mean, is it a real obstacle?
If you come out with things, look, if the fight did...
Vergil Ortiz recently spoke about Terence Crawford's current weight. He said he doesn't think Crawford will return to 154 pounds because he has now adjusted his body to the higher weight classes. After moving up to fight Canelo Alvarez and preparing for middleweight bouts, Crawford seems focused on staying at the higher divisions. Ortiz respects that but admits it makes their potential fight more difficult to set up. He added that he's not waiting around and will continue taking big fights in his own division. Still, he hopes the timing might work out someday and they can meet in the ring. Right now, the talks around Vergil Ortiz, Terence Crawford, and Jaron Ennis show how exciting the higher weight classes have become. Ortiz's confidence and pursuit of big challenges keep driving his rise. Crawford's calm replies and
For you
strategic
to
decisions
fight at
reflect
some
the
point?
mindset of a champion
No,
who
so-
knows his value.
He's not coming back to 154. I spoke to him. This is my first time saying on media. I spoke to him, and he's not gonna come back to 154. He's gonna fight his 2 last fights and retire. And you know what? I respect it because he's been undisputed at 140, at 147. Get your money and get out. I mean, what else do you have to prove? You know what I mean? So it's just like.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more.